Get some more people in the chat room before we get started. But good morning from snowy Atlanta. It's really snowing out here, right? I've never seen it snow like this before in Atlanta. We have real snow sticking on the ground. And so with that being said, I'm going to be in for today because people in Atlanta don't know how to act when it's snowing or dry. So I'm going to stay in. Just recently got back from Ghana, got back Monday. Absolutely loved it. I'm starting to upload the videos. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. Let's get some more people. What's up, Turkey? How you doing, man? Did I pronounce that right? Turkey? Turkey, is that how you say it? So Turkey, you're first in the chat room. But this morning, I have the beautiful sister Hilda with us from Uganda. And we're going to be discussing why African women are the most desirable. I know we've been corresponding and talking and been meaning to connect for a minute now. So finally we got together. We're linking up because I've been traveling, and we're just gonna chop it up on why African women are the most desirable. So Hilda, how are you this morning?
I'm okay. How are you, Dynast?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Nice to hear from you. Nice to have. Thank you for coming on. So Hilda, let's jump right into it. Why are African women the most desirable? Well, I mean, why do you think so?
First and foremost, African women are economically empowered to be aggressively hardworking. Like, they strive to work hard and sustain their families,
Mm-hmm.
And this information is based on the perspective that our ancestors kept on teaching our great-grandparents, and it's been passed on from generation to generation. So African women are the most desired, or like the most like wanted everywhere because of that reason, economically. Then the other point is being problem solvers. Back from the times of our ancestors, African women were taught to be problem solvers. Our ancestors told stories through riddles, through African folk songs, through tales. So they kept on telling these stories, and these stories had meaning. These songs had meaning, and they were all about teaching the girl child how to solve problems in a home, how to find solutions to the challenges around. If a girl, for example, got married and she is going through a lot of challenges, what would she do? Like, how would she sustain her family? Stuff like that. Then socially, African women are taught to defend their husbands when it comes to situations. As an African woman, you're not supposed to, when your husband is going through challenges, and when, for example, society is talking bad about him and stuff like that, you are supposed to come up and defend your husband as an African woman. That is the story that our ancestors taught, and we need to keep this moving,
Okay.
I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about.
No, we understand. And people in the, someone in the chat room from Gariga, African women are family oriented, love, and are feminine. And that's one thing. Let's touch on the feminine. Excuse me. Let's touch on the feminine aspect. Let me ask you this, Hilda. What do you think the difference of being feminine and being a feminist? Because for some reason, and this is just what I've noticed, I feel as if feminists are very masculine. What are your thoughts, I guess, on feminism and the African woman?
First of all, if you can tell people in the chat room, what is feminism? Because a lot of people don't know what feminism is. So what is feminism, first of all?
Since you're a woman, I'll let you define it, because me personally, I get about 30 different definitions. from African women. But I would say this. Right now in America, as far as Black women, and what I've overheard some African women say, for some odd reason, the main feminine principles are, if you don't agree with the LGBT movement, you're a homophobe, and I ain't cooking for no man. That's pretty much what I've gathered. But correct me if I'm wrong.
You know what? The African concept does not agree with the current or like the new age feminism, because it completely destroys or like it ruins the traditions that our ancestors came up with, you know? So I think from my own point of view, feminism isn't the real African concept. It's not an African thing. That is my own point of view, because our ancestors didn't even talk about that, you know? Like men being equivalent to women, or like women taking on men's roles. What our ancestors taught was women to do what they are supposed to do, or what they have been trained to do, and so do the men.
Okay, and so with the answer you just gave, if a new age feminist or a new age Black or African feminist heard you, they would say that you're very submissive, that African women are very, I don't want to say abused, but their men are very misogynistic. What are your thoughts on African?
Hang on a minute. What did you say, that the African men are what?
Misogynistic. This is a feminist term that I always hear. Misogynistic. I guess they want women to be in their place, or you know, they call men who don't agree with feminism, their term of feminism, is very misogynistic. It's just this new term. You know, basically, if you don't, how can I put it? If you, like me, I believe in gender roles. But if you don't believe in gender roles, and you think, and you know, many feminists want women to operate on the same playing field, or want to do the same thing as men do, if you don't see it that way, you're considered, I guess, misogynistic. So that's the new word. But what do you think when people say African women are submissive? What are your thoughts on that?
Diners, the word submissive is a very big word. Like, it's a general word. When you talk about being submissive or submissiveness, it entails a lot, because when an African woman is obedient, when she is humble to maybe to society, or when she does what she's supposed to do for her husband, that is a form of being submissive. Okay? So submissiveness as a term entails a lot of things. It's a very big word. When you talk of submissiveness, you mean a lot.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, here we go. Let's get the Webster definition of misogynistic. A person who dislikes, despises, or is strongly prejudiced against women. But see, what will happen if you slightly disagree with a feminist? They're going to call you misogynistic. Like, they'll just throw that word out there for anything. But that's,
you know what? Let me tell the people in the chat room. Let me tell the people in the chat room that what our ancestors came up with was the best. You know, if they looked at a woman, an African woman, being submissive, and this was the way to go, it is the right thing. And
hey, Hilda, you're breaking.
African women should keep.
You're breaking.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is what the real African woman should keep doing, and this is what society should follow, because they gave a reason, you know? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. John, you made a great point. Misogynistic is a trigger word like anti-Semitic or homophobic. You're absolutely right. So if I slightly disagree with the LGBT community on anything, I'm labeled as homophobic when I'm not homophobic. I'm not scared of anybody. So John Doe, you're absolutely correct. It's just a word that's thrown around when you slightly disagree with a feminist on any talking point. Then here they come with your misogynistic. That's a good point. So what can Black American women learn from the African woman? Because this is what I'm observing, Hilda. A lot of African women who come to the West, who are educated in the West, are starting to pick up some of the bad habits and principles that have failed the Black community. And for some reason, they think if they package it and bring it back to Africa, that it's going to work. And it's not. So in fact, let me rephrase this question. When an African woman comes and leaves Africa and comes to the West, what should be her goal or her objective?
It's the objective thing is also wide because, first of all, as an African woman, if you leave Africa and decide to come to the United States or maybe Europe or any other place, you should have goals, and these goals should be in position to help you grow. They should be in position to help you develop, and for the matter of fact that you have spent like most of your time in Africa and have learned a lot from Africa. So in my own view, I see that it's important you move this information that you have learned from Africa and transmit it to maybe to the African American community so that they can learn. I think in my own view, that's the most relevant thing. You have to give out information, you know, sensitize, tell the people around you the good things about where you've been that they do not know and they learn. So people need to teach each other, and that's what I think.
Why do you think that a lot of African women who come to the West don't come back to Africa and contribute?
Yeah. I think they don't come back and contribute because of the situations around them. Like they get used to the American way of life, you know, that's, I don't know, I don't want to talk about this, but maybe the hip hop lifestyle and stuff like that. So when they get used, they just want to live that kind of life. They go ahead and drop the African values and try to adopt the Western values. So in the long run, they do not want to take on what belongs to them. Yeah.
What African values can Black American women learn from African women?
The number one is being submissive, first and foremost. Being submissive, being exemplary, you know, being hardworking, being obedient, being homemakers. It's a lot, dynasty. Yeah.
But again, like I said, a lot of women will hear this and say that you're crazy. Like, what's the benefit of I guess Black American women picking up some of these African values and implementing them in their homes?
Come again?
I was asking you, how can Black American women benefit from the message that you're giving today as far as how to operate as a woman here in the West?
For them to benefit, first of all, is that they have to accept that the African culture, or like Africa is their origin. It's where their ancestors started from before they came to America. So they have to accept and embrace Africa as their what? For their ancestors. Then when they do that, they will be in position to take on these values, and indeed these values are going to help them.
See, we got any questions in the, appreciate it, Jim. I am back. I leave for Togo and Benin the first week of January. But yes, I am back. I'm glad to be back. Appreciate it, Joe. Didn't want to come to this though. Actually, it's snowing out here in Atlanta. It was 90 degrees in Ghana. Came back to Atlanta, it's snowing. So definitely didn't. This is not the homecoming I wanted. Put it like that. Let's see if we got any questions in the chat room. Any questions in the chat room? Any questions? Let's see here. Let me ask you this, Hilda. African feminists in regards to the political arena. Now, what I noticed during the election, the U.S. election, a lot of African feminists, they were supporting Hillary Clinton, who's a racist and has done a lot to marginalize Black people all over this planet. But they were very critical of Grace Mugabe, and they were very critical.
Dinas, you're breaking up.
You said I'm breaking up? Hilda.
Yes.
Did you hear me?
No, I didn't. You kept on breaking up. I didn't hear anything.
Okay. What I was saying, during the election, last year's election, U.S. election, you had a lot of African feminists, so-called African feminists, who were supporting Hillary Clinton, who is documented that she's a racist. Also, she has done a lot to marginalize African people, Black people all over this planet. But these same African feminists were very critical about Grace Mugabe. They were very critical about the president of Liberia. I think her name is Sirleaf Johnson. Why do you think that? Why do you think African feminists were going so hard for Hillary, but they weren't supporting African women in political power?
Well, for that, I need to know, like the majority that was supporting Hillary, female or male?
Female. I said African feminists. African feminists were.
Yeah, I should say I was supporting Hillary because she's a woman, and remember, she sides with the new age way kind of lifestyle and the feminism kind of lifestyle. So I think that's the reason as to why they were supporting him. Her being a woman, and secondly, she supports the feminism kind of lifestyle.
Okay, but why weren't they supporting Grace Mugabe and the president of Liberia, who are also
because these women are like Pan-Africanists, I should say, and they do not side with feminism. A lady like Grace Mugabe does not side with feminism, so that's why I think they weren't supporting her.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes sense. But the issue is, and I hear what you're saying, Hilda, but if you look at Hillary Clinton's record as far as what she's done to African people or people of African descent, you're saying that African feminists will overlook that, okay, just to have a feminist in office. That's what you're saying.
That's what I said. What I explained is related to that.
All right, so Barbara Sutton, who's a Black American woman, African American woman, she has a question. She says, please tell me how an African woman can tell me or advise me how to act as an African American woman. She says, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep an open mind here. This just isn't making any sense to me.
How to act when it comes to what? You know, she needs to be specific. When it comes to, I don't know what, let her be specific, then I can answer.
Barbara, can you be specific how to act as far as what specifically? And then we could answer your question. And then Gasagara in Thason, if I butchered your name, I'm sorry. She said the African feminist. Okay, here we go. She says, please stop lumping all African American women in one group. I did not, Barbara. I said African feminists. That's what I said. I did not support Hillary at all. I said the majority of African feminists supported Hillary Clinton, but would not support African women, i.e. Grace Mugabe and Sarah Leaf Johnson. I think that's her name. But can you be more specific, Barbara? Can you be more specific? Hilda, why do you think African feminists were in such support of Barack Obama?
Yeah. Hello, Dennis, to come again?
I said, why do you think African feminists are in such support of Barack Obama?
They were in support of Barack Obama because, first of all, he's Black.
Uh-huh.
That is the #1 reason. And secondly, he like broke a record. I mean, like the world had never seen such a thing happen, you know, somebody like Obama coming up. So that's why they supported him, because of those two reasons. One, he's Black. Then two, he like broke a record. He did what society didn't expect him to do, like to lead America or to be the president. That's why they supported him.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I voted for Barack Obama as well, his first term. And then once I noticed that he wasn't going to implement any change that would benefit the Black collective, I was like, I'm not voting for him in the second term. And then even after what's going on in Libya with the slave trade, you still have a lot of African feminists, or Africans in general, who refuse to call out Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton for the role they played in Libya in regards to the catastrophe they caused, which is leading to the slave trade of Africans. Why aren't these African feminists calling out Barack Obama? And the reason why I asked that is because when the girls in Nigeria got kidnapped
by the Boko Haram,
exactly, they were all over that. But when Black men are being sold as slaves, and even some Black women who are being raped in Libya, you know, they're not calling out Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton in their policy, which led to that. Why do you think that is?
They're not calling out on Barack and Hillary because, first and foremost, they supported them. You know, the Black people supported Hillary and Obama, and they expected them, you know, to do amazing things, you know, to do things that will transform Africa and so all that. But in the long run, Obama did the opposite. Yes, people loved him and so on, but to a greater extent, he did the opposite. So they can't go out and say something.
Yeah, but it's just they're still not being critical of Barack Obama, because they'll call out African leaders. I mean, they'll call out Mugabe, they'll call out Buhari, they'll call out you know, the current president of Uganda. They have no problem calling out these African leaders. But for some reason, African feminists refuse to hold Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton accountable for anything, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Let's see if we have any more questions in the chat room. Oh, let me ask you this. You have a lot of African feminists who are excited about Meghan Markle marrying into the, I guess, the British crown or whatnot. Now, Meghan Markle does not identify as being African, nor does she identify as being Black. But when I was in Ghana, I saw a lot of African queens when I was in Ghana. Why are African feminists and Black feminists in general so excited about, I would say, a mixed race woman who doesn't identify as being Black marrying into the British crown, which colonialized Uganda, versus being excited about queens who are already on the Black African queens who are already on the continent of Africa?
First of all, the number one reason is that it starts from colonialism, then the education, like the education setting or the system of Uganda. It was designed by the British, and when you happen to go to Uganda, you see that the British established their system from colonization, way of life, and education, and how things are done. So there's a little bit of like white or like British supremacy. So when people see these mulattoes and so on, and maybe people from the British point of view, so they think they are greater or like bigger than the black people. So the reason is education and colonization.
Okay, and Daniel, brother Daniel in the chat room made a good point. He said most African feminists or feminazis want to be white and are longing for the freedoms white society provides. Which brings me to another point, Hilda. I noticed that a lot of these African feminists, they either have white boyfriends and husbands or they're gay. What are your thoughts on that?
The African feminists are either gay or what, or they got white boyfriends.
Yeah, white boyfriends, white husbands, or they're gay.
You know what?
Wow, what do you?
I didn't even know that.
That's just something I've been noticing a lot lately.
I didn't even know that because I'm just hearing it from you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm serious. You have to research it. I mean, okay, here we go. I'm gonna tell you. They either have white husbands or white boyfriends. They're either gay, or they're like, because I know in African culture, like if you're a woman and if you're not married or have kids by like, I don't know, the age 32, you know, your family starts to question. So they're older and don't have kids or not married. Why do you think this is? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Because of the feminism kind of thing, it has gone ahead to ruin everything, and like people do not care. They can do what they want. They can marry who they like. They can do what pleases them, and this is a problem in society. You know?
Why is it a problem?
It is a problem because people have dropped the values that our ancestors taught. You know? They're trying to follow the feminism and the new age kind of thing. So people do not care. I mean, like somebody reaches an extent of, you know, marrying the person they like just because of wrong reasons, and they do not care.
Okay. Listen, people in the chat room, Hilda is dropping some good game. Can somebody please hit that super chat button? She is dropping some good knowledge right now that I think a lot of people could utilize. Daniel, I appreciate it. Thank you, family. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Mr. Simmons. Brother Daniel, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And by the way, I went to Daniel's house and had some bomb vegetarian vegan food. It was delicious. So I really appreciate that. Let's see if we have any more questions in the chat room. And Doug, thank you for the support, brother. I want to shout out Doug too, because Doug he's a moderator. He's been consistent and loyal, and he's always in the chat room. I want to thank Doug for his support as well, and really everybody for their support. I've been gone for a minute because I've been traveling, and where I've been staying, the Wi-Fi has been somewhat slow, so haven't really had the opportunity to jump on the live stream, but we're here today. I'm going to be back later on today as well because Atlanta's probably shut down because it's snowing, because we don't know how to act when it's snowing. Any questions in the chat room for Sister Hilda? Any questions? Hilda, do you feel as if Africans are not respected because of our politicians?
They are not respected to a smaller extent, not to a larger extent, because our leaders, the problem that Africa has in general is leadership. the fact that some leaders that I'm not going to mention want to stay in power till they die. Some of these reasons have made Africa to a smaller extent not to be respected.
Let's see what else we have. Doug, I disagree, man. A lot of people are very knowledgeable or know the role that Obama and Clinton played in what's going on in Libya. They just continue to ignore it. So, Barbara, do you have any questions, Barbara Sutton? Or I know we asked you what specifically you were referring to when you said, please tell me how an African woman can tell me or advise me how to act as an African American woman. Can you be more specific? Barbara? Turkey, I've seen a YouTube video of a fat African woman ground pounding a 4-year-old child as if she was the Rock on WrestleMania. Dude, that shit goes on here in America. In fact, we had a situation here in Atlanta, in fact, right around the corner from where I live, where a woman put both her kids in the oven and cooked them. Don't believe me? Look it up.
What?
So, yeah, it's sick. It's sick.
Did you say cooking?
Huh?
Did you say, what did the lady do?
She put her kids in the oven and turned it on and killed them. So yeah, so I think behavior like this, Turkey, is just not limited to African women, but all women have some issues sometimes. No, like I said, that just happened here in Atlanta a couple months ago, where she threw her kids in the oven and put them on broil. So yeah. Yeah, is there anything? So we're going to go ahead and close out if there aren't any more questions. Hey, Bob, I'm not. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get somebody on here from Nigeria, and then he could answer your question. Oh, here we go. Great question, Prince Jalabar. Hilda, what are your thoughts on Rwandan government with 50% of women in their parliament?
Which government dynasty?
Rwanda.
The Rwandese parliament having 50% of the what?
Of women in their parliament.
It's all about democracy. I mean, if the citizens are voting them, if the citizens are voting women, then why not? It's actually a good thing. African leadership is all about democracy.
Okay. And then let me ask you this, Hilda, and Asia Sanchez, she brought up a great point. Great question, Asia. How do African women feel about Black American men here in Africa? I'm sorry, here in America. Not the Black American men who end up relocating to Africa, but when African women come to America, what are your initial thoughts on Black American men? Be honest.
Your connection is so bad. You keep breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. What are your thoughts? An African woman, okay, who relocates to America. What are your thoughts or ideas? And Asia, I misread your question. I'm gonna get to it, but I'm gonna ask this question first. What's an African woman's thoughts, or how do you feel about Black American men when you come to America? Like, what are you told about Black American men?
Yeah. First of all, we need to know if these Black American men like our values that the ancestors taught us. I mean, if they would like to embrace the values, then it's okay. We can teach them. They can learn from us. That's what I have to say.
Okay. And then her question was, I'd like to know how she feels about how African men in Africa and within the diaspora treat African women in Africa and within the diaspora. Because again, the stereotype is that African men are very abusive and misogynistic to their submission.
Abusive in what way? Abusive in what way?
Verbally, physically, you know, they exploit their submissive African women. What are your thoughts on that? Like, how, in fact, here we go, Hilda. How was your dad to your mom in Uganda?
My dad was treating my mom fairly. You know, they loved each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna. How do you feel? I think I might have asked you this before. How do you feel about polygamy, as far as in regards to African women?
Dynasty, I totally. Do you hear me, Dynasty?
I hear you just fine. I hear you fine.
I 100% disagree with polygamy.
Okay.
That's what I have to say. Yeah.
Okay.
A man is meant for one woman. That is the way to go.
Okay.
Because if you decide to go out and have multiple women, it means you're not contented with what I'm offering you. You're not contented with the good things I'm giving you. So the fact that you choose to go out, it doesn't make any sense. So I disagree with polygamy, and polygamy comes with a lot of issues, diseases, family neglect, a lot of things, I'm telling you. So I don't disagree with polygamy, period.
Okay. So let me ask you this, coming from a Black American perspective. So, I mean, this is the reality, Hilda. Shortage of men. There's more women than there are men here in America, and probably in Africa too. And it complicates it even more because I live in Atlanta. A lot of our men are gay. A lot of our men are being arrested and locked up in jail. So with that being said, with there being the ratio of women to men being very high, do you think polygamy would be practiced the right way, would be a solution, a practical solution for, we'll say, Black America? Because of, again, Black men being gay, Black men being in the prison system, and again, there are a lot of single Black women out here. Do you think Black women should have more of an open mind towards it because of these factors?
But are you trying to ask me that how can we try to solve the issue of Black women being single, or like the issue of polygamy? How can we find polygamy in the Black American community? How can we find solutions to that?
No. Well, the question is, okay, in the Black American community, Hilda, in Atlanta, you have a lot of Black gay men, so that eliminates the number of men for women because they're gay. You have a lot of men in prison, Black men, so again, that takes away from the dating pool for Black American women. So, with that being said, and then Black American women outnumber Black men. So with that being said,
you know what?
Go ahead.
These Black American women should leave their comfort zone and maybe try somewhere else where they can find men that can make them comfortable. They should seek somewhere else. They don't have to stick onto one thing, onto one community, or like being Atlanta. No, they should step out, go to Africa. There are a lot of men waiting for them. You know?
Okay, but see, this is the problem, Hilda. Again, the misconception or the stereotype is, okay, that right, they have the option of going to Africa, but a number of them don't want to go to Africa, number one. And then also, two, the stereotype is that African men are very abusive, are very demanding, I guess. So with that being said, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
It's a stereotype. I mean, it's a stereotype because a lot of African men have taught their women how to be strong, how to hold on, how to sustain their marriages. And when you look at the statistics, I mean, I'm not saying this because I'm from Africa, but I'm just telling you because of the statistics that's available. A lot of African men have taught their women how to manage homes and be strong. So if they have done this for the African women, it means they can do it for the Black American women. So Black American women shouldn't have that stereotype in mind. They should step up and go to Africa and meet these men. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
They
Now,
will not be, I mean, Dinas, you have been to Africa. You have seen how the African men behave.
yes, I have.
Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, we might have like a few cases here and there of maybe domestic violence, but it's not a big deal. Like it's not so big.
I didn't see it at all. No, African.
You have been to Africa and you have a story to tell. So
yeah,
to me, it's an excuse. The fact that they keep saying the African men are abusive, it's an excuse, Dynasty. You know that.
Yes, I do. But again, you could tell them until you're blue in the face. They're just, they're not gonna believe you. I mean, because like I said, I didn't see, of course, I didn't see any abuse, verbally, physically, going on at all when I was in Africa. I mean, African men took care of their wife or wives. In fact, when I'm in Senegal, in Tuba, my friend where I stay, his father has 3 wives. They all live together and they all live peacefully. So yeah, I mean, but again, you can preach it till you're blue in the face, but they don't want to listen. So yeah. Let's see, Asia Sancho says, I agree. I'm not afraid of African men in Africa, and I know how to be a homemaker. I just want to link up with the man that's ready to be innovative and do things for our people around us. Hey, Hilda, do you know any good Ugandan men for Asia?
Yes, I do.
Hey,
you know what?
Asia,
if that part, what?
We're going to find you a man in Uganda.
A good Ugandan man, yes.
So Asia, I'm gonna give you my email address. We're gonna play African matchmaker. We're gonna set you up with a good Ugandan man. He said,
exactly.
Right, so
yeah.
give me an email. We're gonna set you up. We're gonna set you up. Let's see here. Last question. I think this is the last question, and I know this is off topic, but since you're from Uganda, how do you feel about Idi Amin?
Like I told you, I'm more interested in history than politics, but Idi Amin was, to a larger extent, he economically transformed Uganda because he built good schools, good hospitals, He like empowered he empowered the sports, like for the Ugandan sports association. He loved football, he loved having fun, he loved swimming. So he was a good leader, and when you compare him to the current president, you see that Idi Amin was to a larger extent better than him. Yeah, right. People say it's correct. What I'm saying is correct, that he expelled the Asians, but Dynasty expelled the Asians because they were milking a cow without feeding it. I don't know if you get me very right. Yes, the Indians were making investments in Uganda, but they were taking back the money back to India, and it wasn't benefiting the Ugandans. Idi Amin looked at this situation, he decided to expel them.
Okay. So everybody, thank you for coming on this morning in the chat. Hilda, is there anything you want to share with us before we close out? And Hilda, thank you so much for coming on. I'm glad that we finally connected. And you have a home here. So if there's anything you want to talk about, anytime you want to come on, just let me know, and you're more than welcome. But I'll go ahead.
I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, but is there anything you want to share in closing? And also let people know how they can contact you, just in case.
how to contact me.
Yeah, just in case they want to reach out to you.
They can reach out to me. Somebody can drop me an email. My email address is hildakan@live.co.uk. Drop me an email. I don't bite. I will respond.
Okay. Hey, Hilda.
Then I know people love Facebook. My Facebook name is Hilda Hils. Just reach me out. Hils with single L.
Okay. A single L.
Dinas, can you type it? Can you put it there so that they can see?
Yeah, I will. I'll do it right now. Hold on, I'm gonna put it in the description, and also I'm gonna put it in the chat room right now. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and put this on. Give me 1 second. So I'm about to put your email address in the chat room right now, and then also your Facebook too. Okay. All right, cool. And then let me ask this last question. And Turkey, you made a great point. So I read an article the other day, Hilda, of Chinese and Indian men, specifically Chinese men who come to Uganda, who are impregnating Uganda women and then leaving them and going back to China. What are your thoughts on that? Like, are there not enough good Ugandan men to get these Ugandan women pregnant?
There are enough good Ugandan men, but I mean, like, people fall in love, people get attracted to each other. So if the Chinese and Indians are attracted to these women, then what should I say? Let them go ahead and do their shit, you know? They can do what pleases them. Yeah.
And then you got and also too, now, African feminists love to call out African men. But what's going on in Uganda, African feminists are talking about this as far as the large number of Chinese men who are abandoning their pregnant Ugandan wives. Oh, not even wives, just Ugandan women in general. What are your thoughts on that? And that'll be the last question.
Those men need to be sued. They need to be taught a lesson of their lives. Because how dare you impregnate somebody and you just abandon them? Society should take action about that. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Hilda, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. People, like I said, I just got back from Ghana on Monday. I head to Togo in Benin, January 4th, so I'm looking forward to that. If you're new to the chat, please subscribe, please share the videos. Also go to searchforhuru.com, go to dynasamir.com, go to amazon.com, search your name, Dynasamir. Please follow me on social media. Search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Hilda, if you don't have anything else that you want to share, we'll go ahead and close out. Anything else you want to share, Miss Hilda?
Just to tell you to have a great day. Okay.
I sure will. All right, you guys, Dynasamir, the Kapitan Don is cold as hell. I don't see it. Let me ask you a quick question. How when Africans leave that beautiful weather in Africa, I'm starting to notice you guys move to the coldest places. Like, how do you adapt to that? Like, I just, yeah, Turkey, I'm gonna go get a haircut. I just, I've been neglecting my hair. I'm gonna go get a haircut. But yeah, Hilda, you guys leave this beautiful weather to come to this snow. Like, and you guys go to the coldest places. Like, how do you adapt to that? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, when you have a goal in life, weather is not a big issue. What you have to look forward to is to achieve your dreams and have a bright future. Weather is barely not an issue. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Dynasamir, till next time. And Hilda, thank you for coming on.
Thank you too.
Till next time, peace.
Okay.